So the food shop is aimed at everybody really in the community. The main things are those in food poverty and those who want to do something about food waste. So it doesn't matter if you are in a full-time job, it supports the project by having those people that can afford to still shop in supermarkets coming in and taking the food and paying their memberships, and allows us to support more people who are facing food poverty. The food shop came about towards the end of COVID. A steering group was created from people who had done work throughout that period. So Weston Town Council, the For All Healthy Living Centre, the food bank, places like that. And because we'd delivered quite a lot of food throughout COVID, we were involved as well. It's been a project that's taken about 18 months to get off the ground. The idea was basically around food waste and trying to stop food going into landfill, but it very quickly became a poverty project as well. So we buy the food, we have a membership with Fair Share who collect from major chains and supermarkets, and then on top of that we top up through organisations such as His Church. So we buy a pallet from them every couple of weeks that comes in, and that includes major brands, so things like Dolmio, Uncle Ben's, stuff that's slightly higher end expensive. Membership is £5 for 6 months, and that means you can come in once a week and fill a basket for another £5. Some of the problems we've had so far is not being able to get enough supplies to meet the demands, so membership went absolutely crazy. I think initially we thought we would try to get 25 members in 6 months. We're now just over 300 members in 2.5 months or something like that, so it's been absolutely crazy, and so the supply has been an issue. Fair Share don't have enough vehicles to be able to deliver any more food to us at the moment. Funding for the project is coming from the memberships and the weekly basket costs. The town council have given us some money to get things up and running for the first 6 months. We've had a small grant just been approved by Quartet, and we also had £2,500 come in from Feeding Britain. To keep the project sustainable, we are looking for more members. We've got a lot of members who started to join us in the first place who were here for the waste side of things, which is great because they don't necessarily use it every week. We've got a pay it forward scheme, so you can come in and give more for your basket if you want to. We've got a Just Giving page where people can make donations, and we're constantly looking for other fundraising and grant opportunities. Statistically, the numbers that have been coming in have been just astronomical really. The demand's been crazy. In December we did almost the same amount of families and children as the food bank did, which was really surprising. We had some stories before Christmas of people being in the food bank queue and someone saying, do you know what, the stable's open, why don't we try that, it's a £5, and coming to us instead. So I think there's a bit of a knock-on effect, hopefully, of there's those people that can afford to pay something but maybe can't afford the supermarket shop, so they're able to come here instead, which is in turn relieving some pressure off of the food bank. So I think it's positive, but it's also quite distressing at times to see them and their stories, and they are that middle group of people, so the need is really high, but maybe they're not able to tap into some of the benefits and things that are normally available to people who maybe were unemployed. So most of the people that we're seeing are in that working group. They're in full-time employment, utilities and cost of living has just hit them so hard that this is now one of their only options.
So a food bank works on the provision of emergency parcels for people in need. People do have to get a referral from an agency. So in Weston we've got over 200 different agencies, so that would be mainly your schools, Citizens Advice, the council for anyone who is in receipt of any kind of benefits, Alliance Homes, any of the support agencies, Somewhere to Go, We Are With You, all that kind of support agencies, and they would issue a voucher. That's a code, really mainly now it's an electronic code, and you would come and exchange it against 3 days of emergency food from any of our points, so either here in the town centre, or also we've got a point in Milton, one in the Bourneville and one in Banwell. Food bank use has grown at least 30% this year compared to last year, and in December we saw about 40% increase on the year before, and over 50% increase on the number of children we supported. Compared to 5 years ago, we have more than doubled the amount of people we support in a year, and we know this year, for the financial year, we have already, so we are now in mid-January, we've already supported more people than we did the full financial year last year. Certainly that last Friday before Christmas, when we had a queue all the way down the car park, it was heartbreaking. To support us, one of the best ways, if you are wanting to do donations, is to download. There's an app called Bank the Food. It is unbelievably easy for us to update, so it's one of the easiest ways for us to keep our needs list up. And it also will alert you when you walk into one of the shops that is linked to us as a food bank. You can obviously support any other food banks you like, but that is got a link of all of our food banks. If you can donate, there are donation bins in pretty much any of the supermarkets. That's fabulous. If you can volunteers, we do particularly at the moment need a couple of extra drivers. Part of the issue we have is that as part of a food bank network, we believe that we want to go. We don't want to keep on growing, and it is very difficult to navigate that vision of actually reducing the need for food bank and helping people move away from dependency or need for food bank to actually what we see on the ground and the potential demand for us to increase our services.
The Fridge of Free Stuff is a community fridge in place to highlight food waste's impact on the climate crisis. So we collect food from retailers and supermarkets around Weston-super-Mare, and we'll give it out for free to the public.
We have an amazing group of volunteers who go out and collect food from the supermarkets and put them here on the shelves in the fridges. There is of course an ongoing cost to that, so we have to pay for the fuel to go and collect the food, but also fridges can be expensive, so we are aware of the costs that we are incurring by being here at the Sovereign Centre. But some of our success stories is we've been saving more meals over Christmas. Our volunteers really knocked it out of the park, and each month we're saving more food, which has a better impact on the climate, but also as well for this cost of living crisis. We didn't really anticipate that we would start to become a needed service in Weston-super-Mare, and we are pretty concerned about that because we need to keep these doors open, and the only way we're going to be able to do that is through getting extra funds coming into the community fridge. So if you can help, that would be amazing. But we're here, we're serving the community, and we're also serving the climate change crisis.
The concerns really, the issues we're facing are cost, so it's all about funding. So it's all publicly funded, so that's through grant funding or public donations. Obviously when we started the project, it's very easy to get funding for a project when it starts, but to get that ongoing funding is a major issue. So that's something we're really concerned about at the minute. To run the community fridge, it costs about £4,000 per year. Which is inclusive of your bills, so your energy, water, electric, running the fridges. So we're looking to expand what we do in terms of climate change here at the fridge. So we're looking at other initiatives, projects we can run that might be recycling points, reuse workshops, and other ways of living a low carbon life. So we're here to combat the climate crisis and save food waste. So this is open to absolutely anyone. It's different from a food bank or a food club. There's no requirement, you don't need a voucher. Everyone's free to come along and grab something for free because they're doing their bit to, for the environment and save the world.